We're the Saskia sisters, and this is Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Indie Horror Junkie.
We're a panic attack.
Indie Horror Junkie.
Woo! Indie Horror Junkies.
Indie Horror Junkie. Indie Horror Junkie.
It's the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, your source for anything and everything indie horror. Here's your host, Otis B. Dreads. All right, it's 8 o'clock. You know what that means. That means it's time for some Indie Horror Junkie. It's time to get your fix, and the junkies are here to satisfy. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. I am Otis B. Dreads, Rotting Ricky D, Asylum Amy. How are you guys tonight?
Doing swell.
Awesome. I have a really cool, and being that you posted it, Rick, I have a really cool picture I'd like to show. You put it out there on Facebook in regards to the new issue. The cover. May I grace the viewers with the cover because it's pretty awesome. Look at that. That's going to be the cover of the issue 11 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine. And that is slated to drop.
Project. Yeah.
When is that slated to drop? When was that slated to drop?
That's from our good friend Peter Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sorry, there's a little delay on mine, and I'm not sure if you guys have a delay.
Yeah, you were cutting in and out of this a little bit, but I think you're okay now. Yeah, that issue is slated to drop on September 13th, which will be Friday, September 13th, so Friday the 13th special edition. But that's our normal slot for September 13th. We're right now putting together all the articles and getting it all ready to go. But this is the first issue that we've also made available for pre-sales. So we're actually selling several copies already. It's up on the website. You can go to it, indiehorrorjunkie.com, and get your pre-sale. And we have a special little thing that I concocted late night when I couldn't go to sleep. I thought of this harebrained idea that all the pre-sales that we get, I'm going to keep all the names of all the ones that order it before it goes live. And for everybody that did a pre-sale, I'm going to randomly pick 5 people. And those 5 people, when I send out their issue, we're going to have a little Indie Horror Junkie surprise in their envelopes.
Awesome.
Wow, look at you, zombie. Late night thinking. I like it.
I know. I got to start taking some melatonin or something so I'll stop having these fever dreams. But I figured this way, people who pre-order, you have to pre-order it. If you order it after it goes live, then you're not going to be included in that little random drawing. So you've got to pre-order it, and then I'll just randomly draw 5 names, or I'll have Asylum Amy pick 5 random names, and we'll send them a little surprise.
Very cool.
Hey, Brad.
Dig it.
And Thomas. All right.
We, I guess, our normal housekeeping. Of course, we have submissions are open. Are they still open for Festival?
Yeah, the Mistress Mary's Horror Film Festival. The submission process is open. The deadline to get it in, the final deadline to get it in, is August 31st. So you still have a full month to get your shorts or your feature films in. The actual event takes place on October 26th over at Cinema 6. And the Junkies will be there. We'll have a table set up, and we'll have a whole slew of shorts and features. So if you've got a good one, send it to us right now. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Someplace else the Junkies will be, and that'll be at MegaCon February 2025 for the second annual Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest. Submissions are also open for that. So get your feature. We got a lot of good submissions so far. I'm going to
short
say
films, feature films.
Yes.
So whatever you guys got, send them in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you saw a little preview of this past February's outing at MegaCon. It was awesome. Great turnout. Full house sometimes to the point where we had to turn people away.
Yeah.
That's how much the Junkies invaded MegaCon right there.
It's going to be bigger.
You're not going to want to miss 2025's edition. That's for sure.
No.
Do we have anything else?
We've got the turning this weekend, Rick. And we've
also
got
got
the Boy from Below on the cover of this current issue of Indie Horror Junkie magazine. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. We got Spooky Madison as the indie horror hottie. So that is an indie horror feature film that is going to be released in 2025. A lot of great independent horror actors and producers, writer. Tori Jones is on that. It's a great group of up-and-coming indie horror artists. So if you're into the indie horror realm, you know these actors, you know these people. So this project is really cool. Who doesn't love a fun little slasher? And then we have the turning this weekend. Rick, we are filming Friday and Saturday for the insert of the Nightmare Collection, Volume 3. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Lots of pre-production. We are working around the clock, and we'll get you guys some teasers and BTS, some screen grabs, probably up next week on the new Indie Horror Junkie Hookup social media pages. That's where we're going to be posting all the behind the scenes of the Indie Horror Junkie productions. We're going to try to go live this weekend. Hopefully that works out well, just to get you guys some behind the scenes, let you connect with the cast and crew, see what the heck we're getting into. So definitely, if you're not yet following Indie Horror Junkie Hookup on Facebook and Instagram, you want to connect with that so you can stay connected with us.
That's right.
I love when Amy does the recaps because I'll be stepping all over myself, and she's so smooth and just gets it out there. I'm like, I just sit back and enjoy it.
I'm like you. The brain doesn't stop. It just rolls and rolls. But we've been busy. There's a lot going on, a lot of exciting things, and we want to connect as much as we can with the indie horror community. Not only promote what you guys have going on, but promote what we have going on, and connect and continue to build a community of support, and just everybody expand and elevate together. That's what it's all about.
And Howard Hawkins, one of our new junkies, just chimed in there. How you doing, Howard? We'll be seeing him this weekend as he's going to be all zombified. Amy, you want to tell us a little bit about our guests tonight before you show the trailer and bring him on?
Yeah, we have Johnath Davis. You guys might know him from Terrifier 2. He has an up-and-coming project called Mirror Mirror that they're going to be launching their Kickstarter campaign tomorrow. And he has some friends joining us tonight. So get your questions ready. We're here to have a good time, talk about everything indie horror, and see what these guys are up to.
All right. Let's get it rolling.
What's going on, y'all? It's Johnath Davis, and I'm here to tell you about my new indie horror project, Mirror Mirror. Now, Mirror Mirror was inspired by my love for horror and the lack of representation of African Americans in the horror industry. So this is a perfect blend of Black parenthood plus some chilling thrills. Now, this short film follows the story of a young Black couple expecting their first child. So they're trying to upsize from a tiny apartment in the Bronx. So they buy a mansion at auction from a bank only to discover that the demonic forces in the mirrors of the house are coming for their unborn child. Spicy. Now we have a really great team involved. We have award-winning director Drew Phillips, known for his work in FBI, Badland, and I Believe in the Devil. As far as cast, we have Kevin Kepi, the fantastic creature actor from Smile. Yes, we have Courtney Taylor, known for the horror film The Invitation, as well as Abbott Elementary. And lastly, we have myself, known for the cult classic horror film Terrifier 2, Power Book on Stars, and Reasonable Doubt. Now on post, we have Kevin Ward, who is doing all special effects. He's known for his outstanding work on Sci-Fi's Face Off, which is the American Idol of special effects, right? Now, please donate, give what you can, because we're really trying to shine a light on the African-American family unit in a positive way inside this genre that we love. Now, our initial goal is 30,000, but our stretch goal is 60,000 so that we can ensure the top tier quality that this project deserves. Please check out our campaign, and I'll see you soon.
All right. There we go. Mirror. Welcome, you guys. Joneth, Drew, writer director of Mirror, Marcus J. McGill. He's got his black screen. Looks a little.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks
thank
for
you very
hopping
much.
on.
You're very
Excited to hear
welcome.
about it.
We have the Kickstarter link scrolling across the bottom. That is slated, I believe, to start tomorrow.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
All right.
sharp. Set your alarm and get your wallet ready. Jonathan, why don't we heard a little bit about Mirror. I think it's a great concept. Why don't you tell us some more? Let's go in depth. The floor is your guys's. This is your show.
Great. I just want to welcome my counterparts. Again, I have my director here, Drew Phillips. I have one of our producers here, Mr. Marcus McGill. So they'll be chiming in as well. But in a nutshell, man, I'm not sure if you guys heard all the ins and outs. I know mine was kind of breaking up some. Mirror is about a young couple that are expecting their first child. They're moving from their tiny apartment in the Bronx, and they bought a mansion at auction, only to find out that the mirrors in the house are demonized, basically. And so from there on, all hell break loose, and we're trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? So it's wonderful. One, because who doesn't like mirrors and demons? And two, because it's from a lens of a Black family union, which we don't get to see as much as we should, but we're about to change that.
Awesome.
So where did this concept come from? Is this something that you guys just came up with, or has this been like something that's been percolating for years and you finally got it all settled up?
The indie horror community knows a name by a guy by the name of Montavious Parker. You know, Montavious is also my convention agent. And, you know, he came to me with an idea about wanting to create a movie. And I'm no writer, but I know a great one. So I said, let me get you in contact with my guy, Drew Phillips, whom I've known at least a decade now. And once those two got brainstorming, before I knew it, it was magic, man.
Again, very well said. Yeah, Montavious, he reached out. He's like, we knew Jonathan. I've known him a long time. Great guy, great person, great actor. We all know he can act, but he's really a good man. But Montavious came to me and he said, you know, he had this idea. I think it was called Beyond the Looking Glass, something to do with the Looking Glass. I don't know if you want to.
Devil's Looking Glass.
There you go, Devil's Looking Glass. And he said, I want a mirror, I want a demon, and I want Johnath to star. And then I thought to myself, because like as you know, Montavious has a lot of passion for horror, but he isn't a writer. So as a writer, I'm like, well, what's my angle? What's my in? I know Johnath is going to star. So I had options. I was like, you know, we could go mixed race, or we could, you know, take this face on and make it about the Black family unit. And that felt like the right choice because I knew an actress named Courtney Taylor. Jonathan and I met each other at the Actors Lab, again, about 10 years ago. That's a acting, I'll call it a conservatory, but it's a place where you can take film acting classes in Philly. And I saw the two of them do a scene about a pregnancy reveal. It was funny. It was full of heart. She likened her fetus to a xenomorph. It was a great scene. But it had both drama and laughs. And I thought to myself, they'd be perfect for this. But Courtney's gone on to make a name for herself in those 10 years. She's been on Insecure, Abbott Elementary. She just got cast as the co-lead in a Bosch spinoff on Amazon Prime, which is shooting this summer.
Oh, Courtney.
So she was hard to lock. But luckily through Johnath, he was able to reach out to her on my behalf. She told me to call the agents. I called the agents. They read the script. We got the yes. So, you know, a long roundabout way of saying I got my dream team, and you know, we're embracing the Black family element, but at the same time, as a new father, it's also about parenthood. So anybody can enjoy this and dig this and relate to it in some way.
Two things real quick. One is an actor who came from an actor studio who still connects with all of my actor friends after all these years. I love that you guys have stayed connected and that you're pulling each other in for your projects. We do the same thing here, and there's nothing more beautiful than making art and expanding outside of that, you know, scene study session, and now you guys have gone on to bigger things, but you continue to call and connect, and all ships rise with the tides. And I love that so much. I love that sense of community within your
Amy
actors circle. Like, I get it. I feel it. I have chills because that's what we strive to do down here. You know, somebody moves up and you pull everybody up with you, and then everybody around you is just doing all this cool stuff. And when they win, you're clapping. Everybody wins. Everybody's excited for, you know, your people. So I love that. And then the thing about the kid in this film, I know you guys can relate. We were talking a little bit earlier. We all have littles at home. Watching a horror film with children in it hits different once you're a parent.
It does.
And I love to watch it because it makes it even that more intense. So now I'm really, really excited to hear more about this project, even though it's going to give me a heart attack probably watching it.
We're glad, that you feel that way. And, you know, it just goes to show this was 10 years ago I saw her act.
Yeah. No, I'm still pulling people
like,
in and talking to people from, 8 years ago from class. I get it.
Exactly. So it's crazy, like the impact and impression someone can make on you. Johnath and I have been connected since then. We've worked on projects. We're friends. I'm also an actor, so we help each other with auditions for various shows. But Courtney, not so much. It was, radio silence for 8 years. Not to say that, I had any bad feelings. It was good feelings. In fact, good enough for me to want her to star in this film. But it's crazy the impression someone can leave on you after.
You remember those people who were working so hard in class right next to you every week, just hustling, consistency, who wanted it so bad. And you remember how good they were. Even when nobody was looking, you remember how hard they worked and how much they were giving and what they could be just given the opportunity. So the fact that you guys are giving yourselves and the people around you the opportunities when they come to you and you have the ability to make something bigger happen, I love it so much.
I would say a lot of people don't.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, which is why I think this film will hit so hard. It's not, just, us trying to create something, us trying to stay busy, it's actual actors, who are dedicated to this craft. It's actual writers who gone to school for this, graduated with this. We have a real director, we have real producers, it's an independent film, but we're doing this with the same, capabilities that any big production would have. We're tapping into all our resources to create something that you can enjoy and just get lost in. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm
and it makes it that more exciting on the production side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Kickstarter. Go ahead. I was going to say Kickstarter kicks off tomorrow, and it's going to run, I'm assuming, for about 30 days, right? What is your target date to try and start shooting, and when do you anticipate having this ready? And it is a feature, right?
No. So we're doing two versions. The Kickstarter is for the short.
The short, okay.
A high production value short. Part of that is because I brought in names like Kevin, like Johnath, like Courtney. The other part is that we're shooting in a mansion. That's not cheap. And the rest is, if you've done this, if you've been in the business a while, the numbers, if I showed you behind closed doors, they would not shock you. In fact, it would be more expensive if I was calling in street rates. These are all like friends and family rates from people who have worked with me over the years.
Yeah.
So, if you're shocked by the budget, just, we can break it down for you, but everything's in there for a reason. In terms of shooting, we'll wrap initial funding by September 1st. We'll either have our initial goal, our stretch goal, or we'll fail, but I don't believe in the final thing. So we'll either have the initial goal or the stretch goal. And the initial goal will take us all the way through production. And, should we need to, we can use that to sort of do a second run to try to get finishing funds. But shooting wise, we're looking at mid-November, because we're waiting for Courtney to wrap the Boss show. So it's a happy problem to have, but we can't get a hold of her until then. But that just gives us more time to prep, storyboard, all the fun stuff that goes into directing and a movie, essentially.
And then what is your plan for the movie once it's done? Once the short's done?
Absolutely. Great question again. And this, you'll get more information on this tomorrow when the page goes live. But we have direct contacts at a couple of the big name brands in horror. I will not drop names right now, but they're the ones that you're probably thinking. But we haven't made a feature yet. So our plan is to make the best short in the world in conjunction with a pre-written feature, which I've already written, in conjunction with a feature-length pitch ready to go. So I keep on saying to people, I like to have my guns loaded before I get into the fight. That's how I'm approaching this, because we have, again, direct ins at these two places, but I don't want to knock. This is not like a friend of a friend. These are people either Johnath and I know directly. If that fails, you should always have a backup plan, festival run. We'll see where it lands. We'll see who loves it and is inspired by it and wants to make the bigger one with us.
So this is obviously a proof of concept then, essentially, as a short, right?
Yes, and I'm going to push back at that word because I also want people to know that the short will still be satisfying in itself. Yeah. It will have an ending that feels right. So it will be both proof of concept and a standalone short that works on its own.
Okay, and you
did, absolutely, you can look at it that way.
Okay, but you did mention that you were going to be doing a film festival run, right?
Correct.
All right, well, just throwing this out there, that Indie Horror Junkie has a film fest at MegaCon, and we're going to be there with 250,000 of our closest friends. So we'd really love to try and see you guys put that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an easy yes for us in terms of submission. I just don't know which cycle because it'll depend on when we wrap.
Oh, no problem. The event doesn't happen until February.
All this hard work that we're doing, you will see it.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt. So who's our newest guest that joined us here?
Yeah, Marcus, his screen was black. I don't know if that was on my end or his end or what.
Oh, no, you're good now, Marcus. You're back at the beginning.
Yeah,
and Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be totally insane because I'm known to be that. Did I not meet you at Monster Mania last April?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that's the Marcus that I met. So I met Marcus because I was actually working the Terrifier merch booth. And so you were there. We hung out and had a couple dinners together. That was a fun convention, wasn't it?
We had a ball. We had a ball that weekend. Yeah.
That was a fun convention. So definitely happy to see you and connect again. Welcome to the show. So you're a producer on this project. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. You're all over the place.
Yes. So I actually I met Johnath for the first time, even though we worked together on Terrifier 2. I officially met him at a convention last January. I wasn't able to be on set when he shot his scene. And we clicked right away. So when I saw Montavius's post about this project and saw the images and read the synopsis, I just offered my services to him. I said, hey, man, I want to be a part of this. Any way that I can assist you all getting this project made, let me do it, And he talked to Jonathan and Drew, and they accepted me, and I'm part of the 4 Horsemen now. That's what we call ourselves. So.
Hey, hey.
Yep. These guys. Yeah. So I'm representing Death since Gambit is my favorite X-Man. So.
Oh yeah.
Represent. Yeah, definitely.
So did you go see Deadpool already?
Oh yes, hands down.
And what did you think of Channing Tatum?
You know what's funny was
it's all over.
Funny was I'm kidding. I've seen it.
I wasn't a fan of his when initially he was like launching the project back in the day, because I was a huge fan of wanting Michael Raymond James from True Blood to play Raymond, because he had that accent down to the science. He had the swagger, and it would have been cool to see him and a Paquin together again on the screen. But after seeing Channing in this, I was like, oh snap, okay, I like it.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that. Yeah, I know he's been really passionate about that. Yeah, the accent was crazy. Deadpool made fun of it the whole movie, so that was good.
And then Blade, of course, So
Blade, I jumped out of my seat. Man,
theater erupted on my end. But this project, man, just after reading the script, when Drew sent it to me, I said, yes, I got to be a part of this. It's just an awesome dynamic of what he wrote, as far as the family dynamic. And yes, this isn't we're not calling it a black horror film, the characters just happen to be black. And it shares their experience and their dynamic of a newlywed couple and a new father and with Jonah and Drew being fathers and Montavious being a father. I'm not. I just got a dog. It's just this. It's just awesome to see for all three of them to pour their experiences as fathers into the story, into this character, and the charity aspect of what we plan on to do with the funds as well is I'm all for it. I'm huge on giving back, and the company that we're partnering up with in Philadelphia, giving young adults and teens opportunities to work in film. What they're doing and partnering up with them, I thought was just amazing. So I'm very passionate about this project, and I hope that we get to make the feature. But again, like Drew said, this is easily could be a standalone short, and I think people are going to have an amazing experience with it, and everybody will be able to relate to it that are parents and that are in long-term relationships and that have crossed certain generational curses in their past, that they have overcome and destroyed. So yeah, I think this is the right time for this project, and people will enjoy it. So
awesome. I love I think what you had said, Marcus, about giving back, donating, to charities and whatnot. That seems like the heart and soul of indie horror, really. I mean, you're helping, you're picking people up, you're showing them, you're trying to, maybe get them into theater and the arts, and I think that's a great thing. Drew, I got a question for you. I'd like you to talk about some of this cast that we've seen briefly in the little trailer. For those who have joined us a little later, talk to us about the cast that you assembled for Mirror Mirror.
They're the dream team to me. We have Johnath Davis of Terrifier 2, Blue Bloods, Power Book 2 on Stars, Reasonable Doubt. His credits go on and on. We have Courtney Taylor, series regular on the last season of Insecure, Abbott Elementary, and she just recently booked the co-lead role in a Bosch spinoff about Renee Ballard, who's going to be played by Maggie Q, and Courtney will be starring across her as a series regular in that. And Kevin Kepi, who is if you're a horror buff, he's an icon from Smile 2022. He played I want to call them the Smile Demon, but I think his technical credit is like Crazy Mother or something like that. But that creature effect at the end was played by him. And so the short, it's a 3-person shop. There's like one extra role, but it's a spoiler, so I can't really speak to who or what that's about. But it's really, even though it's demonic forces, you can think of it as a haunted house story. So it's going to take place in and around that house. We're going to have an awesome blend of practical and VFX. Kevin Ward again doing our practical SFX, but we have Shandy Tam, who's worked on Creed 3, literally creating crowds that weren't there in the boxing arena, and he's going to help us out with sort of like pulling off the trans-dimensional movement that we're going to see in the film. And I know you asked me about cast, but before we move on from the charitable stuff we're doing, I want to plug them by name because they're great. That's Big Picture Alliance in Philly. They are helping with the fulfillment of one of our pledges, which is sponsor a PA. So for $250, you are getting half of that is going to go towards the production costs, so equipment, paying actors, whatever. The other half is going directly towards the PA's salary. And we are fulfilling that through their program. And these kids are, and I hate to call them kids because they're really young adult. They do 12 through 24, but the people we'll be pulling are really the upperclassmen. And they get these kids film certified. We have a local production house in Philly, so all the TV shows that film here, like Mayor of Easttown and Mayor of Kingstown, that's in Pittsburgh. But there's a local film rental house that helps sort of crew these shows. And this organization literally takes these kids, gets them certified so that they're set ready to work. And these are all kids that would not have had access to film school or sort of the funds that would come with that. So what they're doing is absolutely amazing, and we are honored to be partnered with them. The second thing we're doing is if we go viral and we far exceed our $60,000 stretch goal, we'll be cutting some checks to their organization. They have an annual fundraiser in January. So they're doing great stuff, and we love to cross promote with what they're doing because it's incredible.
The way you guys are running things, I have no doubt that the energy that you're putting out there with the intentions behind it, that once this short is done, that feature is going to happen. You have the heart and soul of, the people that should be involved in this, which is the group that you formed with intention. And then everything you're doing outside of that, it had so much purpose. So I got mad respect for you guys and how you're running the ship here, because, a lot of people do this out of ego, out of competitiveness, which, you want to do good, obviously, but just the fact that you're making it a priority to give back and to give opportunities to bring people on set to have that experience. I'm so in love with everything that you guys are doing, how you're doing it. So I think there's going to be a lot of blessings behind this project. I'm so glad to have you guys on the show. Whatever you're promoting, make sure you tag Indie Horror Junkie so that we can share it and continue to push it in as many directions as we can.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
We're very
like Otis said, though, that's the beauty of like Otis said, that's the beauty of the indie horror community, man. We truly rally behind each other. That's how I got into the industry with Terrifier 2, Damien giving me a shot, and being able to get on set and just learn every position that I could and every department that I could. So we want to be able to do the same for others, because that was like the greatest thing that happened to me in my life, was finally living my dream of being a filmmaker,
And now you're paying it forward. You're giving those same opportunities to new people. How cool is that?
And I want to I'm going to, what's the word? Bang this, drill it to death, hit the horse with whatever the saying is. Who do you think, if everybody here knows that film sets are like families, once we hire these, I'm again going to call them kids just because I'm probably 10 years or more their senior, but once they're on set, as long as they're not bad people, which we don't think they will, we will think they'll be cool, but almost everybody I've worked with is cool. In fact, it's usually the actors who are cuckoo, to be honest. So who do you think I'm going to bring on?
I was going to say, man, Johnath might have something to say about that.
No, I know a few actors who are very larger than life, we'll say.
It happens.
It happens. They're out there for sure.
But no, I believe that we'll be creating a new family, and these people that we're bringing in, I'm going to take with me forward as I go.
Yep, that's kind of what we do with us here. That's what I love about Indie Horror Junkie. We started Indie Horror Junkie for the sole purpose, really, of trying to help the people that don't get the help that they need. They've got the Fangorias out there, the Rue Morgues, all that stuff. But for the most part, they're covering studio films and the bigger budget films and stuff. There's nobody really out there pushing the guys like us. I call them the blue collar filmmakers, the guys that are working 9-to-5 jobs and filming on the weekends, and 9 times out of 10 they're putting in their own money on the budgets. So we made a magazine and we made social media to help push them, to shine a light on them and their work, because they're not getting the opportunities that everybody else is getting. So we want to help shine them, and hopefully one day we'll see them in Fangoria and Rue Morgue and everything, doing bigger, Hollywood budget movies, and knowing that, hey, we promoted them when they were coming up, gave them a leg up, whatever it is, helped get their word out there, get their face out there, get their projects out there, and hopefully they can make something of themselves. But at the end of the day, it's all about family. And like everybody pretty much here has talked about, that indie horror community is such a tight-knit community. Everybody loves to help each other. Everybody loves to push each other and bring each other up and stuff like that. And to me, that's infectious. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you're doing. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Can I just speak to that really fast?
Sure.
The first horror film I did was Terrifier 2, which allowed me to start attending horror conventions. And, when I first went, I didn't even know what to expect. But once I got in there, man, it's so infectious in a positive way, man. It's so welcoming. It's so warm. It's so supportive. I'm joining these Facebook groups. It's just like, oh, man, this is it was like I missed out for 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you're in there, the friendships you make, like even here, Like I'm looking at the check. I'm seeing people I know. What's going on, Thomas? What's up, Brent? Goblin Jack, we see you, baby. You know what I mean? So it's just like dope to see.
I met Marcus at a convention over a year ago. I had no idea that he was going to be on the show. I'm like, I know you.
You feel me? And,
Yeah.
and so, you know, that's like
Beautiful.
a big shout out to the community, but also a special one to you guys because, you know, Ricky reached out to me directly. You know what I mean? And that's how we even got here to this point. That's awesome. And, you know, just providing an outlet and a platform for the people of our caliber, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Oh God, that's what we're here for, and I love every moment of it. I really do. But speaking of which, you just mentioned Terrifier too. I wanted to ask you, since this show is going so quickly here, what was that experience like? How did that come about? How did you get the call? How did you get it to be associated with it? Because I saw the movie, loved your acting in it. The movie as a whole was fantastic, loved it. Tell me a little bit about how that experience happened and what you got from it.
That is another testament to what Amy spoke about earlier, the networking of who you come up with.
Yeah.
I received that audition from Lauren Lavera, who played Sienna. You know what I mean? Her and I also attended Actors Lab in Philly, with the same school that you and I were speaking about earlier. So she asked me one day, you know, hey, you know, I'm working with these guys. They're looking for some good actors. Would you mind audition? I'm like, yeah, you know, let's go. And so I, auditioned for the role of the storekeeper. And, you know, right after that, they was like, oh, they loved you, man. You got it. All right, cool. And then I just get another email like, I just want you coming for a head cast really fast. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, but okay, I guess all the cast of the head is going to be there. Cool. And
now
before I know it, I'm in before I know I'm in Phil's basement, and I see some girl with all this guck on her face. I'm like, he's like, yeah, you're next. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I didn't this is moving 1,000 miles an hour. And then next thing I know, man, I'm at the Abracadabra place in New York. You know, I'm laying on the ground and Art's cut my head off. So it was absolutely amazing. One, because again, that was my first horror, and just to realize the amount of fun that you can have doing making such gruesome stuff was crazy. And then two, witnessing, you know, a small group of guys just fulfilling their dreams, just going after it, and then succeeding was like a lesson in itself. Like it doesn't take, you know, everything that you need. All you have is all you need. And it was like, okay, we can do this.
They set an example for all of us, and just getting to know some of them and even getting to talk to Phil. I sat next to him for 2 days at the convention I met Marcus at, just picking his brain, and like, you guys filmed so much of that in his basement, and I had no idea that Lauren was how you got involved. And again, I love that. I love that story. I love actors pulling other actors in, and because you want your friends to succeed. So that's so cool. And now here you are, getting ready to do your own thing, and you guys are doing it in such a positive light. So like I said, I think that this is really going to go somewhere, and I'm beyond excited to hear more about it as you guys move along. So definitely just keep us posted on everything, and we can even bring you back later on after post-production. Yeah, like keep in touch with us. Let's continue to push it. If you guys have a Kickstarter that you're using for post needs, let us know. Let's do it again and keep it going.
Yeah, we would love that. We'd love to do maybe a mid to the end if you're available. Just talk about what's going on, but you know
how to get a hold of us. So hit us up. That's all you got to do.
You know, I want to touch base again on the community that we have here, and just the domino effect of, like you said, Johnath, you know, you do a little networking, and next thing you know, you're on a set like Terrifier. You never know what can happen, and I'm living proof of that. We had Chuck Morangello and his wife, Carolina, on the show. They're filmmakers, actors. Now I'm leaving in about, 10 days or so to go play a role in their film.
Come on, Otis.
I say all the time. I met Rick Sanford at a film festival here in Tampa Bay Underground Film Festival that we both go to every year. And I knew of him through socials, but saw him in person. And it was a movie was playing. I took a bathroom break. He's at the concession stand. I'm like, hey, Rick, I know you from Facebook, and said, what's up? The next thing you know, we're filming his first feature film, The Clock, together. And then here comes Indie Horror Junkie.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Just
So
great. That domino
get out there and
effect.
network as much as you can.
Exactly. I mean, because there's so many hands. I always akin it to like a heavy metal show. You know, you get in there and you're crowd surfing. If you fall, anybody's been to a metal show knows there's going to be like 10 hands reaching down there for you to pick you back up because it can get a little dangerous in a pit. And the same thing, you know, here. I've gotten so much encouragement. I've gotten a lot of help from Amy, from Rick, on certain things, especially from Amy when I had to do my first self-tape. Oh, God, that was anxiety-ridden. But I nailed it. I mean, I beat out 100 other auditions, and I've never taken an acting class in my life. You know, but and that's how it is. You know, all this rambling comes back to that's how the community is, and that's what attracts me to it. And of course, it's horror. That was a big plus. But this indie horror community is amazing. And yes, the cons are absolutely, you know, it's a different feel. You know, you feel like you belong. Nobody is, you know, nobody's, you know,
free zone.
Everybody's just all over the place.
That is the beauty of it, because like even with Terrifier 2 and meeting the Levies, you know, with Fuzz on the Lens Productions and becoming good friends with them, and that's how I got attached to String. And then meeting Johnath, and I was like, dude, I got to be on this project because I wanted to work with him. You know, and now meeting Drew, and I'm like, I'm definitely going to work with him again on something. So that's the beauty of it, man. Those going to conventions, I started going to them in 2015 and haven't stopped since. And like Jonah said, like, how was I missing this my whole life, you know? And now it's just like, that's the best thing going, because you feel at home, you feel amongst your people, you know, regardless of
there's not a lot of judgment. Religion. You can just go and be yourself. That's what's so great. There's not there. You don't walk in feeling a sense of judgment. There's so many different, unique. I mean, it's a melting pot.
Yeah.
But everybody's got a place because everybody loves horror, and there's plenty to talk about. And you can just be yourself, and you feel the love as soon as you step in.
Yep. And speaking of conventions,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
you got a convention coming up. I want you to plug.
Yeah. We're going to be. I'm going to be at CreepyCon in Knoxville this weekend, 2nd through the 4th, and then next weekend we'll be in Baton Rouge at the Cult Convention Classic.
Awesome.
So, Cult Classic Convention.
So. You ever come down to Florida at all?
You're gonna have to stay an extra day and eat some of that good food.
I go to Florida all the time. Where are you?
I'm in the Newport Richie area, but we're pretty much all around Tampa Bay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I got family out there. See, now I know.
There you go.
Yeah, Tampa, Orlando. If you come down, let me know. We'll go to Universal Studios, and next year they're opening up that huge park. Yeah. So
the Dark Universe.
Dark Universe. They have the whole Monsters universe that's happening. So if you come to Florida, hit me up on socials. I will hook you up. That's going to be.
We should just find a festival that's in October and just all of us go. We'll make a trip of it.
You know.
You mean like the Mistress Mary Horror Film Festival that's taking place October 26th?
Yeah.
If I didn't know better,
I just walked right into that, didn't I?
Like you just so happened to tap a day on the end. Well,
there you go.
Nice.
Terrifier's another big one. Actually, the whole Terrifier gang came down last year. After I hung out with Marcus, it was like a month later, everybody was down here in Orlando for Spooky Empire. So I was like trying to set up dinners for everybody and where do you want to go hang out afterwards. And I took them to this year-round Halloween bar. And there's definitely plenty to do down here in Central Florida. So hit us up. I'll tell you all the good places to go.
Cocktails and Screams.
Cocktails and Screams.
Hey.
Howard Hawkins just said he's in Orlando. He'll be there. So look at that. We already got somebody to meet us there.
The gang's all there.
Absolutely. So what else you guys got coming? Is everything pretty much focused right now on Mirror Mirror, or do you guys have other projects that are going on right now that you want to talk about in the final few minutes here?
I'll let them go first because I think they do.
So I have Stream coming out August 21st nationwide.
Let's go.
We actually did a
EP
write-up
that
on them earlier, issue number 3 of Indie Horror Junkie. We did a write-up on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the mask. Got the mask. You
Yeah.
can go to Scarecrows.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to
check
that
out
one.
Scarecrows. Yep. And again, Mirror Mirror. So stream, Mirror Mirror, and then Terrifier 3 October 11th.
So cool, you guys.
Jonathan, anything you want to mention? Any shout outs you guys want to give?
Definitely. So I already told you about the conventions.
Yep.
Already a huge shout out to Montavious. He's not here today, but he's here. And then also big thanks as always to the whole Terrifier team. So Terrifier 3, we're already looking forward to it. Stream, we're already looking forward to it. And next up we got this Mirror guys. I'm trying to tell you.
I will be monitoring it closely for sure.
I will mirror that. I think it's going to be special. In terms of upcoming projects, as I am writer, director, and one of the producers on this, my entire life is either on this or my other baby who has a beating heart. And any sort of auditions my manager brings my way. So it really depends. But most of my energy is in this, and then occasionally an audition will pop up, but nothing to announce as of yet besides Mirror. Which before we go, I just want to talk briefly to those of you who are still here.
Oh, we still got time, so talk away.
Cool.
I just didn't want to forget anybody. I see Montavious I just chimed in. There we go.
How's it going? You got it.
Absolutely, my friend.
Here for.
I just wanted to plug some of the rewards we're offering. I did mention the sponsor PA, which I think is one of the cool ones we've got on there. But we have a bunch of both tangible and intangible rewards. We got a $10 reward. That's a social media shout out all the way through executive producer. That's a $10,000 reward if you're really rolling in the dough. But in between that, we have t-shirts. We have signed busts of Johnath's head in limited quantities from Terrifier 2,
cool.
Signed by both Johnath and Kevin Ward, the SFX artist.
Nice.
We have custom hand mirrors with our Mirror logo on it. And then we have experiential stuff. And really, this is our bread and butter because we would love to put all of the money that we're raising back into production. So we would love for you guys to get into our experiential ones. We have 1-hour short film mentor sessions led by Johnath and myself. Marcus, you can come too if you're available. We have master classes. Those are 3-hour sessions for aspiring screenwriters, directors, and actors. Those are 3 different experiences. So each of them is 3 hours, limited to 10 people per masterclass. So we have a lot of cool things going on that may be more valuable than a t-shirt to you in the long run. Not to say that I don't want you to get a t-shirt, but
like a t-shirt.
Yes.
But, we have very cool stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say one more thing real quick. Otis, can you bring on that image? Can you guys tell us a little bit about this image that we got from you guys?
I absolutely can.
All right. I think this is going to be part of the Kickstarter campaign you mentioned. Tell us a little bit about this and where it came from.
I'm going to plug my wonderful storyboard / keyframe / poster artist, Quinn Lee. They did all of the official artwork for us that you'll see on our page in the video. Anything that sort of has that likeness of Johnath and Courtney. What's going on here is we've got our mirror demon looming in the background. We have our couple center stage. We can feel the love, but we also have demonic apparitions of them looking back in the mirrors. Nothing is to be believed in this house, even though our tagline is trust your eyes. But what we mean by that is if you see something funky, it probably is. So this is just our cast inside the Victorian mansion, which we plan on shooting. I've sort of pre-selected my dream location, so I know what it'll cost. They've already okayed the filming. We just need to, lock our budget so I can book it. And what's cool about it is it's already dressed. It's an Airbnb, and the inside is very old school. There's like a ton of built-in mirrors, a bunch of old furniture, and it saves me and the production on set deck, which we're not going to have set deck. We're just going to have to do less of it, which is great. But yeah, I'm stoked. And again, Quinn, you're probably not watching, but if you see this, love what you did.
That's so cool. I have another question. We know the premise of the story. Is there anything, any other films or music or tones that you really pulled from and incorporated from this, things that you love from your childhood, things that you like now? Like, what are those special little touches that you wanted to make sure were incorporated into this project?
I love this question because it's such like an artist's question. So I love you for asking it. Johnath knows this. While writing it, I was listening to the score of Candyman, the new one, which was scored by, I believe it's pronounced Likens, but spelled Lichens. His real name's Robert Ike Aubrey Lowe. It's just like a groovy, terrifying soundtrack. Obviously, he reprises that original melody from Candyman in the melody box or the music box. Also listens to Michael Abel's score of Us. I like to sort of, when I write, I almost am always writing to movie scores. I just picked some movies that might be similar or in the vein of what I'm trying to do, and it sort of helps me tonally set the stage. So music-wise, that's your answer. Did you ask? What else did you ask about? Movies or script stuff?
Even just aesthetically, did you pull from anything specific?
So sometimes the short answer is no in this case. Sometimes I'll pull like frames from other movies, but because I know that there's been movies about mirrors already, like Oculus, and I believe Insidious had sort of like a mirror realm. It's been like 10 years since I've seen it. I think that's a good thing. I did not want to rewatch them as to not either directly rip, or if I accidentally ripped, I didn't want to judge myself for doing it. So I just stepped away. I was like, I'm going to sort of just try to dream this in my head as much as I can. So I didn't pull any images, although that is something I typically do. I think in this case, the reason I was able not to is because for the first time I hired a storyboard artist, which is Quinn. So together,
how was that for you? That's a whole new experience, right?
Amazing. Because I can't draw. Well, I can draw Batman really well, but only Batman. Because in high school, I took honors art, and you were able to like write your own semester for what your project's going to be. I was like, I just want to get really good at drawing Batman, and the art teacher was like, cool. So I can do Batman's profile really well, but only Batman's profile.
There you go.
So yeah, it was amazing because in every other instance, I see it in my head. So I have to find a movie that's doing it or do a really, forgive my cursing, shitty job at drawing it. And I'll say in my head, low angle, high angle, but my hand can't translate it. I see it, but I can't make it happen on paper. So to be able to use Quinn on this, invaluable. I just described the shot as a literally, if you love graphic novels, it's the same as that. It's your wide establishing shot, mansion, low key lighting, moon looming in the background as they walk up to whatever, the house with luggage in tow. And they executed at the highest level. Blew my mind.
I'd love to hear all of the TLC that has gone into this pre-production, the time that you guys took to do that, because it just sets you up for success going into production. But it has to be such a good feeling to know that you did it and you did it with such care, and it's exactly what you want it to be, and you can just be ready to go. Like you guys seem really well organized and ready to go. Like you said, like you're already locked and loaded. So that's fun as an artist, and you guys can relate to see people so zoned in. It's like, I know what I want and this is how we're going to do it. And then just have the resources to do it. Like finally, like you're finally at that stage in your journey to be able to do it how you want. Like that's just got to be so rewarding.
Can I speak to that for a second? That you mentioned something interesting.
All three of you can.
For those people who are listening, I don't know where you're at in your career, but if you're at a lull or a tough spot, I just want you all to know that in my experience, there's a saying that some people use that it takes 10 years of suffering. And I don't mean the whole time is suffering. You're going to have highs and lows, but it's a lot of no's. It's a lot of failure. It's a lot of learning from your last project. And don't think you need $30,000 or $60,000 to make a short film. I've done it for less. I'm doing it for this much this time for a very specific reason because I know who I'm trying to sell it to. But you can just create. You can get out there and you can do it with your iPhone and your buddies. And the next time you raise $100, and the next time you raise 1,000, and then you meet more people. So I want people to know that you can start from wherever you're at. And we did once upon a time. So even if you're 40, just getting into this, or even older, it's like it's never too late to start. I believe in that. Yeah,
Totally.
Anyway, that's my rant. I'm over.
Y'all giving us all
But
the
I did learn.
tonight.
I did learn something new because I didn't know that Drew listens to movie scores when he's working, and that's exactly what I do because I listen to Hans Zimmer or Steve Jablonsky all the time. And even when I was working on the budget and schedule for this project, I was listening to the Friday the 13th 2009 score and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 score. So
I do the same thing. It's hard to believe 3 of us on here. I'm a writer as well, and I'll put the score on in the background. Yeah, because it inspires you. It really it keeps me going, keeps my mind working, and it inspires you. But there is one more question I wanted to ask you real quick with regards to your Kickstarter tomorrow, because I know the whole crowdfunding thing, is something that is really complex and very difficult. So I appreciate what you guys are, getting ready to do here. But for some of the different packages and stuff you got, one of the packages that I see a lot of people are using nowadays, I'm curious if you guys are doing it, but are you guys doing any kind of like a product placement package where somebody pays X amount and they can have, their company logo or a T-shirt or a coffee mug or whatever it is in the background or something like that? Is that one of your packages possibly?
We are absolutely open to brand partnerships. If anyone listening or anyone out there knows a brand partnership, we can think of creative ways to get them in there, even if it's like a big credit at the end. In terms of our story, it's going to be tough for like a T-shirt logo or something like that, but we can definitely advertise in creative ways. We're doing a lot of press too, so we can plug you in all the press that we're doing. But no, not per se one of our packages, but it's definitely something. If someone with the right brand comes to us and wants to promote what they're doing, pumping in some cash into our production, we're certainly open to that collaboration if it's tastefully done. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you guys.
Yes. Well, I think that's the socials across the bottom.
Yeah,
not just
with Marcus. We'll go right on down the line where everybody can check out what you're doing. Where can we find you, Marcus?
You can find me on Instagram at Marcus_J_McGill. And I'm pretty frequent on there. Send me a DM and I'll definitely communicate with you guys. Oh, and we have a private face group that's not necessarily private. We're just keeping the bots and stuff out. But our private face group, book group for Mirror.
We'd love for you guys to join that. That's where I am most active in talking to our fans directly. So if you're looking to talk to any of us or about production, or you just want to support indie horror, you can join that group. All are welcome. We have 2 rules: no negativity, no politics. You can debate film, but you can't put others down while you do it. You can do that in someone else's channel. I just don't have the time or room for that in my life right now.
Amen.
And on socials, again, that's where I'm most active. Don't add me on my personal unless like you know me. But I will talk to you in that Facebook group. I talk to everyone. My personal is really just from like mostly my friends and family. But Instagram, I'm on, and you can follow me on that at The Real Drew Phillips with 2 L's.
Awesome. I'll have to find him. I'm already following Marcus and Jonah, so I'll have to.
I'll follow you right back with whoever's. If I see any new follows, I'll follow back.
There you go.
Sounds good. And Jonah,
where are people finding you at these days?
Yes, on Facebook, it's Johnath Davis. I'm definitely also active in the Mirror chat. Facebook group, and then also I'm on Instagram at That's Johnath Davis. So don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. Hey, I'm not a stranger. I'm over there in that Mirror group.
Hey, let's go.
So
All right,
awesome.
well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
joining us, and really excited to see your launch tomorrow. We'll be paying attention. We'll be following up. We'll be helping you spread the word any way we can, because I love the concept, love you guys as well, and we're all in this together. So let's help each other out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks
Best of
again,
luck on
Ricky.
everything. You guys are gonna just knock it out of the park. I can feel it.
I feel it too.
Absolutely.
Do
The
it.
energy is there. You can tell, man. They're doing good things. It's gonna happen. If you guys got a minute, don't go nowhere. Just want to throw you backstage. We'll say bye, off the show there. But yes, we appreciate all you guys coming on. Man, I didn't have too much talking, and that was good. I like when we have crowded shows, man.
And we learned a lot of new stuff too.
Yeah, and I love how they're giving back to the community.
Oh, I love that.
Very
More Junkie
inspirational.
represents. That's what they're trying to put out into the universe, and I think that's just going to come right back to them. So I'm just excited. I'm really, really excited about this film. I want to see it blow up.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's very inspirational. I feel that this show kind of restored my faith in humanity a little bit. Hey, Annie chewing on a water bottle. She couldn't have waited 2 more minutes for me to close the show out. Let me see. I keep no tabs open during the show, but I will give you. I can bring it up real quick. Next week, Peter Castro, producer.
Episode number 50, you guys.
That's right. Episode 50.
50.
Wow. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. And what a great guest to have. Peter Castro from Bayview Entertainment. He is another just inspirational person in the indie horror community. He, his distribution, what he does to help indie horror films really get out there and get seen is incredible. So we're very excited to talk to him. Great guy, great business. So definitely tune into episode 50. That's so exciting, you guys. We're gonna have to do something wild.
We should, yeah.
Party hats, I guess. I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe. All right, guys. Another great show behind us. So.
All right. Hey, we'll see you next Wednesday.